Buongiorno e benvenuti. Good morning and welcome. We're very pleased to welcome the Maison Panerai and to lead us through their keynote, Mr. Emmanuel Perrin, CEO, and Mr. Alessandro Ficarelli, Chief Marketing Officer and Product Officer. But before we welcome our hosts on stage, let's take a deep dive into the world of Panerai and its communities.
Good morning and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Emmanuel Perrin. I'm the CEO of Panerai. I have joined very recently. It's my third day on the job, and I think what has really struck me by joining Panerai is the passion around its customers, around its communities that I believe is unique in the industry. You've seen a very, very short movie about the Paneristi. The founder of the Paneristi, Paddy, will be with us later today to detail it a little bit more. And that's why we come together today to discuss about the communities that make Panerai so unique. Basically, in one word, our clients and collector. With me, Alessandro Ficarelli. Alessandro is our Chief Marketing and Product Officer for the last 20 years. So all the products, he has 2 children and probably much more if we consider the watches that you have created as addition to your family. Alessandro, I think you will introduce our guest now.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. So we talk about Panerai, a brand that is enriched by its communities. And let me introduce you, Paddy. Paddy, please. Paddy is...
Paddy, Glenn and Jeremy come with us as well.
Paddy is a lifelong watch enthusiast. Paddy is a friend. Is one of the founding members of Paneristi.com, the global community dedicated to Panerai. He's also a successful contractor in Chicago, and we will talk with him about his journey with Panerai. Then we have with us Jeremy Jauncey, another big friend. Is our global ambassador since 2021. He's a serial entrepreneur, he's an investor, business advisor, passion for traveler. He's founder and CEO of Beautiful Destination that has over 50 million followers on social media. And he attended a couple of Panerai experience that we had together. And talking about Panerai experiences, we are happy to have here also Glenn. Glenn Timms is a distinguished
Thank you. Good morning.
executive in the technology and private equity sector. Glenn is a long-time Panerai collector and enthusiast, and we spent together fantastic days in Rome during the annual calendar experience. We will talk with him about his personal view about the experience. So let's focus, let's start with the Paneristi community, if I may. So today I'm very proud to be here with you, Paddy. Paddy, to talk about Paneristi, of course, a founding member about Paneristi. Let's give a couple of numbers about Paneristi. So, was born 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
25, yeah.
30,000 members, more than 30,000 members, 30 hubs, 6 watch editions that we developed together for
Yes,
Paneristi, and thousands of gatherings all over the world at Paneristi. Can you tell us something about how everything started, your passion for Panerai and the Paneristi community?
Well, I was never a watch connoisseur. I defaulted. I was at Heathrow Airport in London. My flight was cancelled. And instead of being on my own, I was going through a personal family car accident recovery. I didn't want to be on my own, so I thought I'd walk around London for 6 hours or something. And I actually saw, by default again, in the window by Harrods, this unique watch. And for some reason, I stared at it, and then the staff came out to get me inside the store. I tried it on, and I thought, wow. And then I thought, no, and wow, and no. And I got on the plane without the Panerai. I got on the plane, there was a newspaper, the Telegraph, with a picture of the watch I had on my wrist. I arrived back in Chicago, and I stumbled into a store. It had this watch. They knew nothing about it. It was their first release of a Panerai.
Do you remember the POM reference?
It was a 9A. It was a PVD 9A. And
Luminor 44 millimeter.
44 millimeter, everybody wanted this one as we evolved. How did you get the 9A? You know, well, there is a story. I did get it. I was intending to bring it back because they gave me 30 days to try it on and whatever. So I said, you know, I can't lose. I never gave it back. It got worse. It became a disease. Normally people have 2 watches. By the time the journey is now, our family is probably over 40 Panerais. My mother, 80s, passed away recently, but she wore one. My sister, ditto. My children, my wife, Mickey, my brother, my children, we are a Panerai family.
So, Paddy, this is the story about your first watch, but how did you decide to create this community? How it happened?
Well, there was no business plan. Paneristi.com was, again, by default. America Online was a dial-in telephone internet system. It took forever to put a picture up in the old days of communication. And I went online and I spoke to pre-Google and said, how many times do I have to turn this dial to wind it? Because it seemed like I had a broken Panerai. I was there for 3 days, carefully, 1 notch at a time. It was 80 winds to get the full. So I was worried about it, and I was asked the question. One guy in Scotland, his name was Guy Verbist, an IT engineer, answered my question. Within a couple of days, 4 of us were talking on a regular basis, and that's how Paneristi.com was born. And then within maybe a year or 2, I think one of our biggest days, we had over 1 million hits in a day, which is ridiculous for that era. We were pre-ambassadors as such. We, you know, with my esteemed colleagues on stage here, we were prior to any Facebook community that ever was evolving. And I always call myself an ambassador, because now we involve our families and wives, and we have DOOR in my mind. We open the door to everybody that comes through Chicago, and we have strangers at our house. You tell your children not to talk to strangers online. We've talked to them.
What an incredible story, Paddy.
It's good.
You know, Paddy, you have as Paneristi a great motto that I love, is much more than just a watch. What are the values that you share with other members of this community? Also now, after 25 years.
Well, I think, friendliness, politeness, family values. I would like to say that if a child walked into a room when you're on Paneristi.com, it was always family orientated. I don't tolerate bad language. There's better words to pick. There's better ways to describe your good and bad points. But I think, in general, Paneristi are known to be nice people, safe people. And as I say, we meet up, strangers. and we're very comfortable. I've met so many strangers on this trip that I think we've exchanged our addresses already.
So, last question for you. We developed together so many editions for Paneristi. 2 years ago, we met in Milan, and we developed this edition for the 25th anniversary. Do you want to say something about this exceptional watch that we developed together?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I will have to give credit to the exceptional company that produces it in your department. I mean, you are the creators and we're the consumer. And the consumer can always look back in hindsight and critique a watch. You have to go for it. And you are a great person to keep me in line. I wanted to do different things, you showed me, you know, what about this, what about this? And I looked at this watch and I thought, wow. It's a unique watch, actually. It's a unique casing. The coloring is beautiful. I like the plain dial. It was always my dream to have plain dial watches. I still have that dream. I have the PAM 232 here from I was given it by the European community by surprise. They ambushed me at a castle and people crossed the lawn. We went to a pub called the Dunton Bassett Arms. They gave me this watch and a plaque. It's now our unofficial headquarters of the world, but it's a great community. If anybody wants to join, you do not need a Panerai. We just need, we like to talk. We don't state. Talking evolves into friendship.
We can feel the emotion, even after 25 years, and your passion for the brand.
Thank you.
And maybe from me, Paddy, when I joined, which is just 3 days ago, I think maybe not the first thing, but the second thing they told me is you need to put the P-Day you need to put the P-Day in your calendar and in your agenda. And that's when I realized that probably I'm not the only CEO of Panerai. There are 30,000 people that believe they are too the CEO of Panerai. Can you tell us what is the P-Day?
Yeah, that's a strange one. The first time I ever met a stranger was in England through our Paneristi.com. It was a one-on-one meeting, and he was a priest, lovely guy, friends to this date. And then it evolved. I won't say that's the first P-Day, it wasn't, but when we evolved into such numbers, now we 300, 400 people of us gather in a different location around the world. It's very hard to organize. Buses, hotels, restaurants. You can't get 400 people into a beautiful Florence a restaurant. So the organization is crazy, but we're on our 25th, we'll become soon, and we're going to New York October the 10th. Again, everybody's welcome.
So October the 10th in New York.
October 10th
so
in New
it's
York.
in my calendar. Now I hope it's in your calendar as well. Now, thank you very much, Paddy.
Thank you very much.
Jeremy, I understand that because of Panerai...
Thank you, Paddy.
I understand that because of Panerai, and I mean 50 million followers, congrats, by the way, very impressive.
Thank you very much.
But because of Panerai, you considered joining the military. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So thank you everyone for being here. I have the very, very great honor of being able to share with you some of the Panerai experiences. I think some of you will have heard about what we do in this part of the business, but the idea behind the experiences and the reference to the military is that there are 3 unique pillars that I believe, and I think many of you also believe, Panerai do better than anybody else in the industry and potentially anybody else in the world, which is creating really, really unique experiences for our customers. They're first in places that are completely unique. Second, they are money can't buy experiences. They're not the kind of thing that you can pick off the shelf and do. And third, they come with completely exclusive timepieces, and an experience of those 3 wrapped together creates something that really is very, very unique to the DNA of the brand. And so what Emmanuel was referencing was I had a chance to train with the Italian Navy SEALs. Because of the heritage of the brand, because of the long-standing relationship with the Marina Militare, they were able to open up a world for the attendees of this experience.
I think you have a video of...
No, Jeremy, yes, let's launch the video.
Okay. Can show the video
that you created during one of the experiences that we held together with the Italian Navy.
Yeah.
And here you were with 30 Panerai clients
Yes.
as well,
Yes.
who went through the same program.
Yep.
Quite a surprise again when I joined to say, okay, that's our clients wanting to have this kind of an experience, which was hardcore, safe,
Yeah.
but still quite athletic.
Exactly.
How did that happen with that group?
So the guests, they purchased the experience, and a part of purchasing the unique watch is this money can't buy experience that you just saw on the screen. And the idea is that they came in, we trained with the military as if we were part of the military. We had military coaches that were taking us through the exercises. And so I think the idea of building physical community was at the core of it. So we were all together, building relationships, celebrating Panerai, but also one of the things that the experiences do so well is build content. And this is one of the things that hopefully you've seen over the last few years with Panerai, investments in content and investments in digital that have allowed us to create content that pushes out into the world. If any of you follow the social media channels, you'll have seen some really exciting growth over the last few years, bringing new customers into the brand, because these are experiences that you don't see anywhere else. And so we had the chance to go out and make content and then put that content out digitally, as well as connect in person at the experiences as well.
And the offer from the military for you to stay and join the forces, that happened?
I think that got lost in the post.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Jeremy.
So Jeremy, as I was with you with some of this experience, I think that you were very well trained for this experience with the Italian Navy, and we had incredible time together. For whom is not familiar with the Panerai Experience Program, we started with this program in 2019 together with the Consubim, the Italian commando, the elite commando of the Italian Navy, and then we started with this program of experience that is made of military experience that are associated to our origin when Panerai was developing instruments and watches for the Italian Navy, where together with our clients we test the watches in the toughest condition, because all these experiences are associated to exclusive limited edition. Then we have a concept related to the Italianità, to the Italianity, discovery Italy, the culture, the history of the brand, and then one associated to the adventure. We had a couple of weeks ago an experience with Mike Horn. We have been with him also in North Pole.
With Luna Rossa as well.
With Luna Rossa last year, and Jeremy was with us. But I was talking about the pillar of Italianity, and last year, together with you, we had a fantastic experience in Rome, where, and actually I was realizing that you are wearing the Radomir perpetual annual calendar in platinum that we developed for the Experience Edition. Glenn, can you tell us something about this incredible experience that we lived in Rome? Can you tell us your perspective?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to share my love of Panerai. My love, my passion, I have many. One is timepieces, collecting watches, particularly platinum watches. I had a misspent youth. I was promiscuous with all these other brands you see here.
That's okay, and I think you have very good taste outside of Panerai as well, I have to recognize.
But something happened on my watch collecting journey. Another love is everything Italian. I spent 3 years of my life taking my doctorate in Milan. We love Italian cars, Italian clothes, Italian food. And then I discovered Panerai. And Panerai is the watch that brings me Swiss engineering and Italian Dolce Vita. And there I fused the two things together. And then that became personified in the Panerai experience. So Rome, Alessandro...
Can we launch the video of the experience in Rome?
Yes, please.
So to give an idea about the experience. We attended the experience. Can we say that it was an unforgettable experience?
Alessandro promised me Rome like I'd never seen it before. Now, that was quite a challenge. I've spent a lot of time in Rome. My favorite movie in the world, another love of mine, if you've seen the movie The Great Beauty, Le Grand Bellisa, won an Oscar in 2014. So I've done private tours going around all the film set. I was sure I knew everything about Rome. And yet, they delivered. We saw Rome behind the scenes, anything from a Vespa scooter tour around the Colosseum in the dungeons where the animals were kept, to the home of fettuccine Alfredo. We had everything. And even better than the trip, for me, the experiences were shared experiences. 20 couples from all over the world, and we made new lifelong friends from Seoul, South Korea, Budapest, Hungary, to Houston, Texas. And we all came from diverse, different backgrounds, and yet we had this shared love of Panerai and Italian culture, and it was unforgettable.
Yeah, that's the spirit of the experience, and Panerai is a brand of community, and we feed community, and we create friends, and we build memories all together.
Paddy, you would be proud of us. In the fettuccine restaurant, we all took our Panerais off and put them all on the table like a proper get-together.
That's a real tradition, yeah.
Yeah. We were proper.
Just make sure you walk out with the same one.
There's always an upgrade, Paddy.
Glenn, and maybe apart from the experience, anything that differentiates back to the promiscuous use that you've had with some of our competitors, what makes Panerai different?
I remember the first time I saw back in the days when we had physical magazines, watch magazines, on the front cover was a Radiomir Oro Bianco 376. It was 47 millimeter, which everybody thinks is huge, but because of wire lugs, they're not as big as you think, very wearable. But it was a California dial, anonymous, no branding, no. And I just thought, that's the watch that if you know, you know. Jeremy, we were saying, from across the room.
Starts the conversation.
Panerai just has this look that's so distinctive. And for me, if you love Italian style and Italian dressing, a Radiomir is the perfect dress watch in these sort of casual, dressed down, understated times. And by the way, if everybody thinks Panerai is a watch for men only, Alex, do a quick twizzle. Nothing looks sexier than a lady wearing a Panerai watch.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Glenn, Jeremy, and Paddy for the input and the talk. I think now we're taking questions from the crowd and maybe from online as well, but I think from the room. For any of us or all of us, please feel free. Yes. Yeah.
Bonjour, Claude from Taraf. I wasn't here from the beginning. I don't know if you talk about this subject.
So you need a watch.
No, my question is between few brands, Panerai was working on sustainable issues. So where are you now from these steps to make it just much more sustainable and ethical?
I think two aspects. One, which is in the product that we manufacture, not necessarily by design, but by essence. A watch is a sustainable product. It can. I'll maybe share an anecdote in the support of an MBA program of a Swiss university. In an exchange, there was a question from the students, which was, what do you do after the watch at the end of its life? And the answer was, we repair it. And then the question was, no, but I mean at the end of its life. And I said, we keep on repairing it. Unless it's lost, sometimes it happens, it goes under a truck or something even heavier, the watch can be repaired. It's a promise that is difficult to keep because it means we need to continue to stay in business. Panerai has been in business in 3 different centuries. My job, apparently our job as well, is to make sure that it will still be in business in the 4th century of its existence. So by essence, so it can also be transmitted from generation to generation. I think that's the first one, and to that we have a small team in the maison, in the manufacture, whose role is to recreate, recraft, remanufacture all components that are not made anymore, so that we're able to repair the watches from 25 years ago, 50 years ago, and so on. I would say that's the first point. The second point is the ocean for us is our natural environment. It's linked from the beginning to the brand. So we have a program with UNESCO supporting the preservation of the ocean, in particular with a focus on education and with universities worldwide to promote the need and the importance of changing our lifestyle in order to be a bit more sustainable. Thank you for the question. Any other question? We still have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Jorarte. I come from Palma, Mallorca. I'm passionate for the brand myself. My question is about the development of products. Since on one hand, I think edge-breaking new technologies and innovation is part of the heritage of the brand, I also feel that in the community, there are missing bits of, let's say, heritage line products. It's true that last year, for example, 1628, a couple of years ago, the Radimir Journey, but is there any intention of the brand to maybe create a wider range of, let's say, heritage collections like, I don't know, 232s, 372s, that line of watches? Thank you.
So you are definitely passionate about the brand. The numbers that were mentioned, for those who are maybe not yet passionate about the brand, reference numbers of specific models. On this question, Alessandro, this one is directly for you.
I have to tell you that heritage has always been and will always be the foundation of Panerai strategy. We have, of course, our objective is to highlight more and more the heritage, not only in communication, marketing, but also in terms of product development. Paddy today is wearing a watch that is inspired by our history. Also, the collection that we are highlighting this year is about Luminor Marina. Luminor Marina is our most iconic watch, where we also displayed the evolution of this case from the 60s, from the 6152/1 till the Luminor Marina today. And also during the year, also during the next year, heritage will be a big focus. Because again, what makes Panerai unique is authentic history, an history associated to the Italian Navy. Panerai was born as a military instrument for underwater mission, is something that we want to highlight more and more. And this is what creates our distinctive and iconic design, created this bold, tough, solid watch. That is what we still have today. And we continue with innovation. But back to the innovation. Innovation has also an heritage link, because Panerai has always been an innovative brand when started with the luminescent material, the Radimir, the Luminor, the safety lock system. So we continue with the innovation also in the present and in the future, but always starting from our roots. And you will see more and more watches with strong historic association.
I love the question, sir, and I love that you can quote the numbers. And on the end, I would add PAM 21.
Wow, very nice, platinum.
And 158. 158 was a very special triple sub-register platinum split-second chronograph.
You know, I joined Panerai 20 years ago, and we developed so many watches, and the beauty also then Paneristi collector, knowing the PAM reference by heart.
You know, what's interesting, your point there, having been as a guest to the Chatel and your office in Milan, I don't think the public realize how hard it is to design something a square inch and make it appealable across the world and communities, and then you have all your counterparts out there fighting for your dollar. I design gardens, huge acres, and now I am more impressed by 1 square inch, and the challenge in this beats any garden I've ever produced. Excellent staff, excellent company.
Thank you, Paddy. Thank you for the kind words. I think it's time to thank you for your time and attention. It's time maybe to share a military secret, which is our next experience, this time not with the Consubin, but with the Aviazione Navale. I will now share the video. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Paddy.
Voilà. And if you want to join the experience, I think we still have 5 seats available. During the experience, those seats could eject you, so make sure you think about it before you commit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Glenn, thank you.